you could hide?
Before I start this video, I'd like to say this isn't a video to bash Fallout 4. I'm sure it'll be a great game. But I'm here to bash the idiots who are getting way too hyped for Fallout 4. With Fallout 4 literally right around the corner, people are waiting in line. We don't do that anymore. People are sitting at home in front of their computers eagerly waiting for the sweet preload button to show up because they've pre-ordered a game they think will be the greatest game ever conceived. Game of the year worthy, they shout. When games like The Witcher 3 and Phantom Pain came out the same year. Yet for some unexplainable reason, people are losing their shit when it comes to Fallout, and I honestly don't get it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked Fallout 3. I didn't like the ending, and paying money for a good ending kind of bummed me out. But in all, a good game. I didn't really enjoy Fallout New Vegas. I think it was a little bit too big for what it was. Kind of like Just Cause. That game was fucking huge. Unbelievably huge, but it just felt dead. But anyway, with that said, I'm looking forward to the fourth one because I do enjoy Bethesda's games. This hype, however, for this game is really worrying, not only because this kind of hype is never healthy, but secondly, Bethesda's games are notoriously buggy at launch, and it confuses me to why this game is getting hyped to no end. Which brings me to the main point. With all this hype and acceptance behind this game, I fear that this might hurt Bethesda much more than they think it will, because chances are Fallout will not live up to everyone's expectations, because everyone is hyping it to no end, and it will leave a lot of players unsatisfied. This will probably cause a backlash against Bethesda not having lived up to their own hype. This game will be a huge success. Don't get me wrong, it will be a huge success, and it already is with the insane amount of pre-orders it's already gotten. And to everyone who disagrees with me, will probably say, well, why shouldn't I pre-order? Bethesda has never let me down. Well, you know, the internet thought the same about Gabe Newell, and then did a complete 180 when he had the balls to release paid mods, which in my honest opinion weren't a bad thing. You mean now there's a moderation in quality mods and being able to pay modders for their hard work? But I would have been an asshole who hates free stuff if I had spoken up. But I digress. The hype for Fallout 4 is very dangerous, and the damage is already done. We can't stop this hype train. The hype train has left the station, and I was left behind. But that doesn't mean it has to continue for other games like Battlefront or No Man's Sky or even Overwatch. All these games are getting hyped to ridiculous levels, except for Battlefront because, let's face it, compared to their other games, they scaled down the fighting to a small confined area, which I have no problem with. The game looks amazing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I played the beta. The game looks amazing. It plays amazing, but it's very confined. But that's just a drawback of the graphics. But anyway, the hype culture with video games has gotten so out of hand. I found myself buying into it as well when I bought the Xbox One on like the week it was released, and then later when I bought the Master Chief Collection, which is still facing problems after 1 year after launch. And both times I found myself regretting the purchase because none of the products lived up to my own blown up expectations. I fear this will happen to a lot of people for Fallout 4. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm anxious to play it, but I'm also not looking to Fallout to blow my mind. It's not going to blow my mind. I'm already going into it like that. This is the cold hard truth. I mean, to be honest, most of Bethesda's games are good, but they aren't masterpieces. Skyrim, for me, had a game-breaking bug where I couldn't finish the Dragonborn DLC. And I gave up on a character I put 200 plus hours in. Now I know a lot of people are saying 200 plus hours, that's nothing. I put in 1,000. Well, honestly, at that point, I've already played the game 100%. Like, I searched everywhere, I looked into every cave. I mean, unless I want to do those really boring, repetitive, random quests I could do, I was pretty much done, in my opinion. I was done with it. And Fallout Vegas, like I said before, just had too many options, and I just stopped caring and I stopped playing. But Fallout 4 will be a great game, don't get me wrong, and I will most likely enjoy it, but it's not going to change my life or make me rethink my entire existence because I've played games with deep stories like The Witcher 3, and I've played games with super fun mechanics in The Phantom Pain. Our hype culture for new video games needs to stop, because not only do they inflate our expectations, they also help sell pre-orders, which are never a good thing. I just got screwed out of a zombies map in Black Ops 3 because I didn't buy the $100 version. Now my friends are playing Der Riese without me because I'm the idiot who didn't put $100 into a game I didn't know I would like. It's stuff like this that makes me just absolutely hate hype culture and the pre-order culture that we live in right now. Hype is the core reason pre-orders exist. If hype didn't exist, no one would be pre-ordering games, because there's no point in pre-ordering a game you're not hyped for. Hype is the core reason why video games have seemed to go down in quality in the last few years, because companies know they don't need to work as hard if they already have your money. If they have your $60, that's $60 they made on a game that isn't even out yet. And hype is the core reason why video games have stopped being fun for most people, especially for me. Because I've noticed that games now are becoming less and less fun and more of like chores with all these progression systems. Now, don't get me wrong, progression systems are welcomed, but when you have, I'll take Black Ops 3 for example. When you have a game that you have a progress bar on everything. You have a progress bar on your guns, you have a progress bar on your knife, you have a progress bar to your main level, you have a progress bar to the gun camos. It gets insane, and it's more like a chore. It's more like a chore than it is a game at that point. But anyway, I don't want to just be negative and putting down games in general. My solution for this, because I always find myself, if I'm going to be arguing something, I should at least come up with a solution. My solution is to stop getting yourself into this vortex of hype. Getting excited for a game or a movie is fine. Like, I'm super stoked to see the new Star Wars movie, but I'm not going out of my way to find information. I'm not up 24/7 scouring the vast internet for little tidbits, little sucklings of information, because I'm not that obsessed with Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I hated the pre-sequels, but I liked the originals when my dad showed them on VHS. But I'm not insane over Star Wars. So my expectations are relatively low compared to a lot of people. And when I go see that movie, my expectations are probably going to get blown out of the water, because I'm like, that was a really fucking good movie. And everyone who had their expectations super high will say, yeah, it was an okay movie. I mean, better than the pre-sequels, but definitely not nowhere near the originals. And that's my point. When you go into a game with such high expectations, nothing can beat it. No perfect game can beat your expectations, because you think that this game is going to be the absolute perfect game for you, and then it's not, and then you feel cheated, which that's why, in my honest opinion, video games have been getting less fun. I was super hyped for the Master Chief Collection, and then it was broken it's still broken for pretty much the entirety of its life, and I was extremely let down. My final thought is, go ahead, watch the trailers, talk to other people about it, but always have that thought in the back of your head that says, don't get too hyped. It may let me down. And when it doesn't, spread the word of how amazed you are with the game. You know, if you don't go into with high expectations to a game and it blows you out of the water, spread the word. Hype that shit up. You know, hype should only truly exist when a product has come out. I wouldn't be upset about hype if Fallout 4 was being hyped on the 11th of November, a day after it was released. I don't care if it's a day after. If people are hyping that shit up a day after it's been released, then people will already have hands-on experience with the game, and then they will know if it's broken, boring, or neither. Hype is worse than pre-orders because it's at the core of the problem. If we stop hype, we stop pre-orders, and that's never a bad thing. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.